Hi guys, I'm Danny, and I started a Sunday gym because I've noticed lately that people tend to go to colleges and universities without actually knowing why they're there. And afterwards, starting jobs that are unfulfilling. So I'm interviewing different professionals to see what they have to say and share their knowledge and experience with you. I hope you enjoy it. Right out, Ambassador D. Cannell, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, brother. How about yourself?
Can't complain rather well. Matter of fact, my only complaint is that I can't complain about nothing these days.
Great.
Yeah. The program where we focus on three main questions. What do you do for a living? How did you get there? How did you know that this was the way to go? So you got a lot to tell. Your story is pretty interesting. Tell us what you do for a living.
I'm a magician. I'm a songwriter. And I'm also a preacher. But
Nice.
I'm a man from. I have a past in my life. I'm a man who has served 34 years of my life through incarcerations. Mostly my crimes was nonviolent Class D felonies, but I was a habitual criminal. I was kind of a terrible person, and 2 years before my release, I had a supernatural encounter with God while housed in an isolation cell in McCracken County. And during this time, I heard a voice. A bright light appeared in my cell. I had taken a razor out of a razor blade. I had over 100 felonies on me in 3 states, and I was facing the rest of my life in prison. And I had taken a razor blade apart and I had stuck it to my neck. I wanted to go out, but God came in, and this bright light popped up in my cell, and I heard the voice ask me, said, "Who are you?" And I heard myself reply, "I'm a thief, I'm a liar, and I'm a terrible person." And he said, "Because you've been honest with me today," he said, "I'm going to give you a new name today," which a new name represented a new life, a new start in life, and a new beginning. And I found that out later as I went through my life, because at first I didn't know the meaning of the word when he said it. And the voice told me, he said, "Believe in me, believe in my son, Jesus Christ, and I'll show you the way. Be baptized." And he said, before the voice left, he said, "Write a book about your life and I'll show you the way." And I've done everything that was asked of me to do from that point in my life. And over a period of the next 2 years of being incarcerated, I noticed my mouth wasn't as bad as it used to be. My attitude went from anger and hate to loving others and loving myself. The addictions I had went through in my life for 53 years. I was an addict, an alcoholic, a sexual addict. I noticed all these things, that my cravings, they were leaving, they were gone. And I got, after my release, I was homeless for I've been homeless for 3 years. I've been living life through the homelessness, but I've never given up on God. Now I live for God today. I have a Christian website on Facebook. You can search Ambassador D. Keeling with the S, Ambassadors with the S.
In no
And
fairness, I already told you, just collect all the links that you think that should be visited or not visited, and just put them in the email. Once this video is uploaded, they will be in the link in the description.
yes, sir. And I'm a man today. I believe in my heart that when a person hits their rock bottom, it doesn't matter. And through my life, I never knew Jesus Christ. I never knew God. I never knew the devil. I knew myself, and I knew I hated myself, and I hated those around me. I hated those in authority. I just hated life in general. And I now see in my lifetime through this experience and what I've done today, it's been 5.5 years now. I've walked with the Lord, and I believe in my heart that through our life we go on a spiritual journey with God. It's an encounter that we have with God that we don't realize. God will never leave nor forsake us, it says in the Bible. God is always going to be there. The things we've gone through in our life through times that in the times that we feel we never knew him, I call these learning experiences. These are things God has walked with us through for us to be able to learn, go through, understand. So one day when we get to a point in our lives, we'll understand the person we're talking to because we've been through the walk. We know what it's like. So in order for us, for God to allow these things, see, God will allow us to go through some things in life to get where he wants us to be. And that's something I really believe in my heart. And God is a good God. He will never give up on us, so we should never give up on him. So I feel like that through my spiritual journey, I've done been through my journey. Now it's an adventure. See, now the last 5.5 years now it's been an adventure because now I reach out to others and I do my best to show them through me what God has done in my life, what I used to be, what I was, and who I am today versus all that. See, and if they can see the glow within me, maybe they'll see themselves that God isn't dead today. A lot of people believe God died a long time ago. I'm telling you, God is still alive today. God is still working miracles today in people's lives. You have to open your eyes. You have to realize what you're looking at and what you're listening to. When you're able to invite God in your life and accept him and he comes to you through his spiritual Holy Ghost, the gift that he gives for those that accepts him, your eyes will be open. You'll no longer be under your nap. And when your eyes are open, you can look into the skies. You'll see things in the sky that other people can't see. I see visions of things in the clouds. I can see angels through the clouds. I can see words in there telling me Bible scriptures where to go to in the Bible, and I can look in the Bible and it's right on point to where I'm at and what I'm thinking in my mind. I can sit here, the wind will follow me everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I'm not hot. I don't care how hot it is outside. I'm never hot. I'm not sweating. I have the wind on me constantly. That's a gift from God. See, and no matter how a person is living in their life, I just want them to know that God can change everything in a matter of minutes. All the charges I had in McCracken County during the time I had this supernatural encounter, I was facing a life sentence. I ended up with a sentence of 4 years in total, and I was out in 2 years. God done that. See, there's nothing. I had to pay for my crimes, which I wrote bad checks. I don't mind saying it on there. I wrote some bad checks and forged some checks, and I had done this all my life because I was an addict. See, I could not work a job and be an addict too.
No.
I couldn't take care of a family or take care of my kids or be around people that cared about me because my addictions was more important to me in my life. See, and I was a runaway at 13 years old. I left home and I went out on my own, and my life was not easy by far. And I feel like I said, these were learning experiences, and I talk about today in my music that I write. I write my own songs. I would do my own recording. It's all about times in my life and what's happened in my life, the bad times versus the good times. In the beginning, God, it says in Genesis, in the beginning, the first thing you'll read, it says God. There was a purpose for everything that happened in my life. There's a purpose that happens in everything in your life. God had a plan for us way before we were even born. And believe it or not, you was part of my plan with God, because we're sitting here and we're doing this today. This was
No,
part of
actually,
the plan God
for
had
the
for us.
audience,
You
that's what
know?
I told you on the first time we call when I called you about this.
Yes. So you know,
I just
I
want to highlight on a few things that you just said because it's really interesting. And let me just tell you how I'm seeing things. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong because you got a little bit more experience than I do. First of all, you didn't change because the goodness, the nature, every man has the nature of God, right? Because we're made in his own
That's
image.
right.
That's how
That's
it is.
right.
So you didn't change. You just assumed your natural form. That's who you always have been, but you've been tainted by the devil and everything else that occurred in your life. The whole
Yes.
running away on 13. But you didn't run away on when you were 13. You didn't really commit those crimes. And yeah, you did. Darrell Keeling did it. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not arguing with that. I'm talking about the spirit that's within you. That the spirit within you never really wanted to commit those crimes. You were influenced, not by God, by the devil, by
No,
something
by
else.
the devil. That's right.
Yeah. So because there is this preacher. I don't know if you know him. I forgot his name. Good for me. Good Lord. Cohen something. Jonathan Cohen or something. I don't know. And he said it brilliantly when he said, if you remove God, there's no such thing as vacuum. Evil comes right into it. You cannot have a vacuum. If God is out, evil's in, and vice versa. But you cannot be an empty vessel. We're not meant. We're not designed in that way. So that's what I really wanted to highlight because you didn't change. You assumed your natural form, the one that you were always meant to have. And
Yes.
you mentioned something brilliant. I really enjoyed when you said, and I'm the same way, right? I can everything I do is like I'm being guided because I don't think about things in general. Like I when I go to the store, I think about the food that I gotta eat, and but those are practical stuff, right? There's a philosopher called Eckhart Tolle saying, "Observe your thoughts, but never believe them." And
Yes.
a pastor called Jesse Lee Peterson saying, "All thoughts are all lies all the time." I mean, both of them are saying the same thing. Both of them are awesome Christian men, and that's exactly what it is. Like those are practical thoughts, but like you said, I'm just looking at the sky and I can see it. You can see it because you're being guided. You're being
Yes.
guided because you let go. There's no ego inside you now. There's no anger. There's no need to fulfill it. That's your path, and you're just walking it, and it's beautiful to see it. And to be honest, I have never read the Bible cover to cover. I read a few things here and a few things there. In
Uh-huh.
general, I don't read to remember. But there was this one thing, forgive them; they know not what they do. They can't
Hmm.
see, right? Because here it
That's
is:
right.
when a person is blinded by the ego, and the ego is a severe enemy, by the way. But when a person is blinded by the ego, you cannot see. And not only you cannot, you refuse to see it.
Yes.
And a lot of people, and I'm not here to insult anyone. By nature, I'm a gentleman, so I'm not even here to, sound arrogant or rude. A lot of people are staying with their ego from the moment they're being corrupted, either in teenage years or even younger, because we're not born that way. But
Yes.
once we get that ego thing, most of them are carrying it to the grave with them. I'm
Yes.
not, this isn't. I'm not trying to insult anyone. I'm saying what I'm seeing. I'm talking to
Hmm.
people from a lot of places. This isn't a European thing. This isn't a US thing. That's not an Asian thing. A lot of people like that. Now, the other thing you said that some folk believe that God's not alive anymore or something. There is a saying. I'm almost certain you have it in the US. I'm just saying it how it is here.
Hmm.
You cannot be an atheist in the trenches. That moment, you can have a remarkable platoon of incredibly well trained comrades and soldiers, whatever you want to call them. That moment, you're all alone. You're alone in general, but that moment, face to face with that, I've never heard of a soldier in that situation being an atheist. Because now, why is that? The reason is that we are naturally designed to ask for higher power and to ask for guidance from above.
That's right.
This is why, and I don't know how true it is or not, but it's just interesting thought. I just wanted to share it with you. When you are sad, broken and stuff, you automatically look down. You notice that?
Yes.
And when you're at your best, you automatically look up.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. And there's a reason.
Yes, it is.
So God's not dead, and it doesn't work like that. This is we're just designed that way. What do you think about that?
I agree with you all the way on that. And I believe people need to understand a lot of the problem in the world today. People condemn themselves
Yeah.
because of the things that they do and the way they act and the way they perform. And they don't have to feel that way because God said, believe in me and my son, love yourself as you love others. We're not under the Old Testament anymore. When Jesus Christ died, we became under the New Testament in life. And if that was true, if that was the case that I could condemn myself, I would have never had that supernatural encounter with God because I was one of the worst, terrible persons you could ever meet in life. And if you go back and read the Bible, you'll see the people that Jesus came to was the ones that needed saved. See, he went to murderers, he went to thieves, he went to people that were lost. Them's who he chose in life because they were
He was
lost.
supposed to be there because those are the people that actually needed most saving.
Yes. So if I was living wrong, I'll use myself. If I was living wrong, God would have never came to me in that jail cell that day. When God came to me, he came into my life. He cleaned up my house, which I'm calling my body, the way I lived. He cleaned up my house the way he wanted me to be cleaned up. The them stars that left is what did. See, the ones that still live within me, them's acceptable because God cleaned my house up the way he wanted me to be. I'm not going to sit here and beat myself up every day because I smoke a cigarette or because I have a potty mouth, because the Bible says no man can tame his mouth. So, if
No,
that was something,
there is no well that contains sour and pure water.
yes. So, if my mouth was a problem between me and God and the things I do today, God would have cleaned that up too. You see what I'm saying? So really basically all I'm trying to say about that is believe in your heart and trust in God, believe in all the promises. There's over 30,000 promises in the Bible. Abraham seen every one of them. And I'm telling you, I've seen a big part of them myself ever since this encounter, and ever since I've been saved and baptized, and there's things that's been opened up to me that it's just totally amazing. My life today is just total amazement to me because if you would have told me 6 years ago I would be doing what I do today, I would have laughed in your face. And if you ever want to make God laugh, you do the same
Make a
thing. You
plan,
tell
yeah.
him, if you ever want to make God laugh, you tell him what you're going to do, and he's going to laugh because it's not about what we're going to do. It's about what he wants us and allows us to do. So, yeah.
100%. That's why I never, well, not never. I mean, obviously I have plans, but I never put myself in that kind of situation. There was this popular question when you apply for a job, where you see yourself 5 years from now. Man, that was so stupid. It's not. And I used to work for the government, so my level of tolerance for stupid is like really high. Like it takes a lot to impress me because
Uh-huh.
I've seen stupid like because I don't know how things are in the U.S., but like here in Southern Europe, you gotta be stupid on like genetic level to be in the government, like on a cellular level.
No.
So I've spent a long time among them folks, so I know that. But yeah, that question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That was ridiculous. Thankfully, COVID removed that. And I want to highlight on something pretty good you said when we're talking about the ego, and you talked about people judging themselves. Judging
Yes.
yourself actually means you're playing God. You got no right to judge. if you do something wrong, and we've all done it to one measure
Yes.
or another, you observe it, you understand that this wasn't correct, you understand that this was based on a thought, not from you, because you don't make your own thoughts. I'm not talking about the practical ones, like let me put a shirt, let me pour some water. No, those are practical things. I'm not talking about them. I'm
Yes.
talking about let me just push this guy over. That kind of thing. When that happens, if that happens, just observe it. Be aware of what's going on. Once you're 100% aware at the moment, because the past is no longer here. We can learn from the past, but it's gone. It's not here no more. And the future is neither in my hands nor in your hands. Now, in a matter, I disagree with doctors when they're like, you have 2 years to live. Like, first of all, who are you to speak like that? You
Yes,
can
that's
die
right.
tomorrow. In let's say 2 years to live. All right, fine. But let's say in 1 year and a half, a new treatment comes up and you live for the next 10, 15 years, which happens, by the way, which happens, I'm a living witness. So that kind of a prognosis is, according to me, of course, that my personal opinion, that kind of prognosis is purely based on mere observations here and there and truckload of ego. Because you can't just put it out like that and not have the ego in you.
I agree with you there, 100%.
And the last segment of the program, I always put it like that. You've seen all and done all. So right now, the future is ahead. Writing a book, doing the songs, everything. If you can have one short advice for the new generation now that's watching, because mostly my target is like folk that are out of university or looking for guidance in general, what's the best advice you can give them?
As far as the younger generation, I would ask that they stay in school and learn everything that they can. Avoid peer pressure. Peer pressure is a big thing in the world today with students and children. Uh, if you're not comfortable in a situation, trust that you can talk to a teacher, a preacher, or somebody in your family and let them know what's going on. Don't take something you're not comfortable with into your life, into your heart, and try to live with it throughout your life, because it could result in bad endings. In the book I wrote, they I've written the manuscript. The book isn't actually printed yet because of my financial situation, but once I get this book published, it's for children and adults, because a lot of the things I wrote in this book deals with my childhood, things I went through at an early age, that led me up to leaving home, running away, the results that happened to me after I ran away, and it would this book would give children who are thinking about running away some kind of alternative versus doing actually running away, to prevent them from running away, if they could see what happened in my life. Because what happened in my life is very, very possible, not even possible, I believe probably worse today's time than it was back in
Yeah,
my
today
time.
is definitely worse.
That it is
Guaranteed.
definitely going to be a bad decision on their part. So, and as far as the adult population, my recommendation, best advice I could give is, no matter the struggles, no matter what you're going through in life, uh, there is a God that is caring and loving, that will love you forever. And I would ask that you find this higher power of your understanding, no matter who it is. I'm not trying to put my God on you. I want you to believe in whoever it is that you feel that whoever's your higher power, and that you find the higher power and accept that higher power and trust in that higher power, and life will start changing for you. And myself, I had to walk away from people I loved. That included family, friends, I've had to walk away and do away with them. I put them out of my life today because their walk is different than my walk today. Sometimes it hurts, but when the pain comes on us, there's one who can take it away from us just as well. So, the things I have to do today to get to where I was, it was all part of God's plan. It's just not something I had to do. What I had to do was recognize my problems and face it. See, so I recognized my problems, I had to make a move on it, and I had to move quick because if I didn't, I was going to possibly fall right back down to where I was, you see, because I'm still a baby, even 5.5 years later now. Me sitting here speaking to you today, I'm still a baby. I'm not where I want to be, because if God allows me to live another 10 or 20 years, imagine how I'm going to be then. See,
I
just in the
love it what you said, and because I've had those examples before. When you had to walk away from friends and family, that's actually a good thing. That's not a bad thing, and I'm gonna tell you why, and you're gonna tell me if you think I'm right or not.
okay,
You walk the path that was written for you a long time ago. We already covered that one, but that one was written for you, not for them. You cannot drag them on this path. You cannot force them to be. If they see, they see. If they don't, they don't, and it's not personal. You just walk it because that's for you. And as long as the ego is not a factor, things will be fine. I'm sure of that.
yes, that's exactly, you hit it dead on point right there.
Right on.
And that's what you have to do in life, to get, because as you're going through this spiritual journey, and if they're not feeling this journey with you, then there's going to be problems. The situation's not going to work out the way that God wants it to work out. So
And in the end of the day, it's always the way he wants it. So just no reason to struggle or to try to be funny.
yes, that's true.
Right on. With that said, Ambassador Dick Keeling, thank you for being here. Send me all the links, and I'll tell you when the video is uploaded.
Hey man, it was a privilege, brother Denny. I appreciate you, and I love your program, man. And I think you're doing a thing that's going to help many people. And stay spiritual, stay with your higher power, brother. And God blesses you, brother.
God bless you too, brother. Stay safe and all the best, sir.
All right. God bless you.
Bye. Guys, I hope this one was useful. Please follow the channel on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Gap, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Ring the bell and all the good stuff. Have a nice week ahead, and I'll see you next Sunday.